First and foremost, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rukakwadash. Yahweh is to this world ignorantly calls God. Yahushai is to this world ignorantly calls Jesus. Bahashem means in the name, Rakah means spirit, and Kodash means holy. And that's all in the Paleo Hebrew. I also want to give double honors to the outer bishops and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. Today's lesson, I wanted to go into how Iran has vowed to attack Israel. Okay, and this is significant escalation. Okay, this is Bible prophecy unfolding in front of us. Right here I have a Twitter post by this guy called Mario Nawfal. I would recommend following him. He's always going into what's happening in the world. And he said the IRGC, which goes into pretty much Israel's, or not Israel, Iran's, pretty much military, Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, says, vows revenge. Iran's Quds force vows to retaliate for the death of multiple IRGC members, including Milad Bidi, killed in an Israeli airstrike in Beirut. Right? Because this all goes back to a couple days ago, Israel attacked Lebanon, right? Lebanon's capital, Beirut, and pretty much killed a bunch of people. Okay, and this already has prompted Lebanon, right, Hezbollah, to attack Israel in the last couple days. Right here it is, you have the U.S. Embassy in all these countries telling the people to get out of Lebanon because war is coming. Says Deputy Commander Iraj Masjedi, the pure blood of these martyrs will not be in vain, and the Islamic Republic will take revenge on the Zionist enemy. Says former VP Mohammed Makbar, Iran would avenge his killing. Hezbollah also promises retaliation. Sources the IRNA. Okay, so this is a real deal source, man. Okay, they vowed, okay, to pretty much attack Israel. And as soon as that happens, Israel's going to attack back. Okay, Israel's going to attack back. That is escalation right in front of us. That is Bible prophecy right in front of us. Okay, and as it says in the scriptures, right, because you have some people that they don't believe World War III is going to happen and this and that, but it ultimately is written in the scriptures that a third world war is coming. And this is going to be the world war that ends all the wars, right? Because Yahushai, who this world calls Jesus, is going to come back to destroy all these kingdoms, these presidents, these armies, and to establish his people, being the Israelites, as the governing body on the earth. Let's read this in Romans chapter 3 and verse 3. It says, for what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect? It says, God forbid. Yea, let God be true, but every man a liar. As it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings, and mightest overcome when thou art judged. Right, so if people don't believe, it's not going to change anything. Right? It says, let God be true and every man a liar. And what the Most High has pretty much wrote down, or told us is going to happen, is that war is coming. And it's going to happen at the hands of Russia, Iran, okay, Turkey, and all those eastern countries, China, Saudi Arabia, versus America and Israel. That's what's been written. And before I even go into those scriptures, I wanted to pull up a article, or not an article, but a book, going into how this has been written, going way back. Right? If you search up Satan's Angels exposed PDF, it goes into it here. This was a book written by, I'm not sure exactly who it was written by, but if you search up Zion, it's not gonna pop up if I search like that. I have to scroll. But around per page, let's find it. It pretty much outlines how all the prophecies, because when you go into World War III and how it's the Zionists versus the Zionists versus not the Zionists, the Zionists versus the Muslims. Okay, this is the elites. Okay, ultimately pushing this war because what they believe is going to happen is that they believe they're going to have these countries fight it all out, and what they want to happen is that when everything's done and down, that's when they come in with their technocracy. That's when they come in with their one world religion and the order of the ages and all that. That's their whole pretty much agenda. Okay, but that's not the way it's going to happen. Right? This World War III, it's happening by the way of the elites, which the Lord is controlling the mind of the elites. But here it is, the plan for 3 world wars. Now it starts going into it. World War One, right, goes into this, how it happened. World War Two, and now World War Three. It says the Mazzini-Pike blueprint also called for a World War Three. You have to wait 10 seconds. Ah, damn ads. Esau always trying to make money. Okay. It says the Mazzini-Pike blueprint also called for a World War III. This would begin by firing up the controversy between Judaism and the Muslim world. They hoped that the Zionists and Muslims would destroy each other and bring the rest of the world into a final conflict. This Armageddon would bring complete social, political, and economic chaos. While the Illuminati's secret few may fan the fires, it must be secretly questioned how much world influence this group has had in the last century. It is quite possible that these Illuminati schemes for 3 world wars are more recent inventions, post-dated to give authenticity to those who seek to blame the sin and suffering of today's world on some secret few. In any event, to fill the void created by Armageddon will come a world government headed by the Illuminati. In a letter now catalogued in the British Museum in London, Pike wrote to Mazzini, "Then everywhere, the people, disillusioned with Christianity, will receive the true light that will follow the destruction of Christianity." And another ad. While we wait for that ad, okay, the point of this is that this book, right, Satan's, let's see when this was written. This book was published in 1980, okay, by a guy called Solomon Curbin, okay, which was an era-born believer and graduate of Garrod College, blah, blah, blah. But it was written in 1980 when he published this. Okay, and here it is, we're in 2024, and exactly what was written is taking place. Right, the Third World War happening between the Zionists and the Muslims. Okay, the Zionists and the Muslims. Okay, this is nothing new. This is all just a big story, a big play. But continue on reading down. Wow. Let's wait for this. It says, destruction of Christianity and atheism both conquered and exterminated at the same time. The Illuminati are against both Christianity and atheism and seek to destroy both and supplant it with Satan as their god, whom they call Lucifer. In fact, they do not accept the doctrine of Satanism. Believers can look for greater persecution in the years ahead. Many Christians may become martyrs because of their testimony for Yahushua Mashiach, right, going into the guillotine. And ultimately the guillotine is going to come to pass because a not bowing down to the image of the beast, right, the New World Order, and ultimately not taking that chip, right? So, yeah, I might have to sit down and actually read this book, right, because it has a lot of information about what's going down. But now going into the scriptures, let's get it from the original source where it first was said. Ezekiel chapter 38 and verse 1. It says, prophecy is against Gog, about Gog and future invasion of Israel, right? Which that future invasion is about to happen. Okay, and Ezekiel wrote this. Okay, when was Ezekiel alive? He wrote this 600 BC, so pretty much 2,600 years ago. And here it is. Now it's happening. It says, and the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him. Right? And when it's talking about Gog, the land of Magog, it's talking about Russia. Right? And these scholars, they know this. If you search up who is Gog in Scripture, in Ezekiel 38, it tells you, no, that's wrong. I'll just help Google out Russia. Gog, Magog, right here. Gog and Magog, Russia. In some modern apocalyptic literature, Gog and Magog are identified as communist Russia and China, right? But in actuality, it's just talking about Russia. Russia's going to be the forefront Okay, in this World War III. And the real way to actually go into breaking this down is if you go to where the land of Magog is, okay, and you put that directly with the map, you will see that it's exactly where Russia is. Ezekiel 38, 39, War of Gog and Magog, Armageddon. Um, let's search up land of Magog map. Let's see if we can search it up. Right here, Magog. Now let's search up Russia map. Search it up. Kazakhstan, Mongolia. Let's see. Magog. Right. Here you go. This is all Magog right here. Magog. All this right here. And you go into it, it's exactly where Russia is. Okay, that's one of the ways going into what it's talking about. Okay. Same thing. Magog, Gog. Okay, so now that that's pretty much explained, Gog, the land of Magog, is talking about Russia. It says, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, thus saith Yahweh, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. Now turn thee back, and put hooks into thy jaws. Now bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Right, when this is talking about the Lord's going to turn Magog back and put hooks into that jaws, that's going into how the Most High is going to put the spirit upon Russia to go back to a war state, to go back to how they were in the USSR. Okay, just be out here being some savages. Okay, ready to get down. He's going to force them to fight. It says Persia, okay, which is talking about Iran. Okay, before Iran was called Iran, it was called Persia. It says Ethiopia and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. It says Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah of the north quarters and all his bands, and many people with thee. It says, be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. And that's the point, is that Russia, Gog, is going to be a guard unto these other nations. Russia is going to be the one at the forefront, okay, pretty much putting face. And behind Russia, you have Iran, Ethiopia, Libya, House of Togarmah going into Turkey, pretty much being allies. Okay, and I want to actually see what it says for Togarmah here in the Hebrew. If it actually goes into how it's talking about Turkey. Territory settled by the descendants of Togarmah, probably the area known as Armenia. Let's see where Turkey is today. Turkey map. Armenia is over there. So it's close. But when you go into the breakdown, Togarmah is going into Turkey. Okay, and right now, Turkey is pretty much in the talks of leaving NATO. Right, Turkey just left NATO after it took no action on Israel. Right, because Turkey is actually an ally with Russia, Iran, and those other countries, even though it's in NATO. That's why eventually Turkey is going to leave, in order to fulfill this prophecy. Right? But it says, and after many days thou shalt be visited, in the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people, against the mountains of Israel, which have been always waste. But it is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them. Right now, these Israelis, which aren't even the true Israelites, they're dwelling safely. But soon, that destruction is coming. Verse 9, thou shalt ascend and come like a storm, thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land, thou and all thy bands, and many people with thee. Right, going into how they're going to be attacking that land. They're going to be, it says, like a storm, right? Like a cloud covering the land. That's how those missiles are going to be. So many that they're going to be covering the land, destroying it. And it says, thus saith Yahweh, It shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought. Right? So while Russia, Iran, these countries are destroying Israel, they're going to have an evil thought come to their mind. It says, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls, and having neither bars nor gates. Okay, and the land of unwalled villages is talking about America. While they're destroying Israel, they're going to say, you know what? Let's just destroy America while we're at it, right? Because America backs Israel, right? They're allies. Okay, and that's exactly what's going to happen. That's the World War III right there. Okay, and the reason it's called the land of unwalled villages is because if you look at a U.S. map, okay, you have all these states, right, that are supposedly broken down by lines, okay, but there's no actual walls there, right? You have all these states, villages, aka villages, but there's no walls. Okay, it's all pretty much just drawn out um, imaginary lines, right? You can't go to Wyoming and South Dakota and see an actual barrier, okay, at 10 feet, 20 feet tall. It's not there. The land of unwalled villages, okay? And it says, to take a spoil and to take a prey, to turn thine hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations which have gotten cattle and goods that dwell in the midst of the land. Right, they're going to destroy. So that's what Ezekiel 38 is talking about. And right now we're seeing pretty much the development of Iran, okay, getting in the mix. And the way Russia is going to get in the mix is by the way of Iran. Once Iran, Israel start going back and forth, get back and forth, it's going to be to a point where Russia gets in. Okay, and that's when this prophecy is fulfilled. Okay, and one key point is that before any of this goes really nuclear, the chip, the mark of the beast, has to be made mandatory worldwide. So if we're seeing this type of escalation, that means that something is around the corner. Some type of economic collapse, stock market collapse, dollar just being dumped. Something is around the corner because we see the signs of war. We see the rumors of wars, the wars. And that means that the chip is around the corner, right? The prophecies have a certain time frame. Okay, the nuclear destruction is not going to happen till the chip is made mandatory. And the reason I say that is because there's a scripture that says that those that took the mark of the beast were cast into the lake of fire, roughly paraphrasing. So, in order to be, in order for that to take place, right, the lake of fire being cast in it, people have to take the mark of the beast. Okay, they have to have that option of being judged. But let's get the other scripture. It talks about this in Zechariah chapter 15. In verse 28, it says, behold the horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. Right, and the dragons of Arabia is going into those Arabs. Okay, they're going to come out here with many chariots, with their tanks, with their military technology. Okay, to come against these Israelis. It says also the Carmanians, right? Carmanians is going into the Iranians, the Persians, right? Because when you go into Carmania, and where that was, Carmania is a historical region that approximately corresponds to the current province of Kerman, Iran. Okay, so Carmania was a province pretty much in Iran. Okay, but anciently, which, like it says, it's talking about Iran. So it says, also the Carmanians, Iranians, raging in wrath, shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. Right, the land of the Assyrians is going into Israel. Okay, that's talking about these Israelis. They're going to be destroyed, and we're seeing the escalation. Okay, we're seeing the escalation right now. It says, and then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature, and if they shall turn themselves conspiring together in great power to persecute them. Right? And the reason it says the dragons are going to have their upper hand, remembering their nature, right? Because the dragons of Arabia, those Arabs, they go back to Ishmael. Okay? And it says that Ishmael, and he was a wild man. Okay, that's why I think his name literally means wild man. If you go into it. Ishmael. Not Ek. Ishmael. Let me see what his name means. Nope, but it's this scripture right here, Genesis chapter 16 and verse 11. And the angel of Yahweh said unto her, Behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shall call his name Ishmael, because the Lord hath heard thy affliction. And he will be a wild man, his hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him, and he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren. That's the point, is that their nature of these Arabs, right? Their line, Ishmael, they are wild people. And they're going to come back to that nature when they're in that war-like state. Okay, that's why they're going to have the upper hand. So, ultimately, we're at the brink of it. We're at the brink of it right now, and in these coming days, coming hours, something is going to happen where Iran, Hezbollah, okay, they really attack Israel hard, man, hard, and that's when, hey, this world is gonna take a turn instantly. Okay, these things are gonna happen when you least expect it. So yeah, it says that the day of the Lord, he's gonna come like a thief in the night, right? They shall say peace and safety, then shall sudden destruction come. So, just a quick a prophecy breakdown, going over news is what's currently relevant, blowing that trumpet in Zion and warning the people of what's coming, because soon there ain't gonna be no warning. So hopefully this is edifying. With that, and give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, and double honors to the elder bishops and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. Shalom to you, like Shalom.